Dick, you mentioned last night that Iowa Radio actually started, was it in Davenport, Iowa?
Moline, Illinois.
Moline, Illinois, okay, one of the Tri-Cities there. And tell me about the radio there that you...
It was in the chicken coop in Moline, Illinois. That's where it all started. I was preteen. My uncle had moved into a new house with a chicken coop in the back. And way over in the corner of the chicken coop was an old Zenith tube radio. Uncle Ed, do you need that radio? No. So I ended up owning it. It worked. And from it, I found HCJB and Tito Ecuador. I found WMBI, Moody Bible Institute. And I found the Lord in a very real, living way. And it dawned on me, this radio is marvelous. This is great. And from there, the little seed grew into training in radio and eventually meeting Harold. And the rest is history.
Now, you were working in Alaska, at a radio station up there?
No, we were working to build a station.
To build a station in Alaska.
To reach Siberia.
Okay.
I recently visited that station, by the way, and at the controls with the young lady from Magadan, Siberia, sending a program back over to Russia. That station ended up being built by the Mission Company.
Okay. And
okay,
Nome, Alaska. Yes. So then your son had heart problems and you needed to return back to the lower 48.
Yes.
And you wound up in San Francisco.
Right.
If you had a burden for starting a station in San Francisco, how did that come about?
It's because I made a living in those days selling sacred records. And I thought this was a rather inefficient way to spread the gospel. It would be better if these records could be heard on the air. So that was the burden.
But as you sold records, you talked to people about having a radio station.
One person in particular, an insurance man. His name was Ray Goodwill. I wonder if Ray's here. Well, I haven't been in touch with him for many years, but I made, on the way to an appointment to sell records in Oakland, I made an illegal left-hand turn. And I was not disposed to go ahead with that appointment. And finding myself in Ray's neighborhood, I went to his front door and they graciously invited me to spend the evening meal with them. And in the process, I explained my burden about wanting to build a Christian radio station, and that I had already raised a little bit of capital for it. Ray said, "Oh, I know who you need to meet. He's one of my clients." And it happens to be a very busy contractor, and that contractor at the time was building Jack London Square. And if you've ever been to Jack London Square, you can imagine how complex his life must have been in those days. Yet, he had the courtesy to allow an insurance man to come into his office for a non-insurance discussion in order to meet a little kid who had a wild idea.
How old were you then?
I think I was 27.
Okay. And so that was Harold Camping.
That was Harold Camping.
And then he put some seed money in, and
yeah, he said, "I'm interested, but only if it can be non-commercial." And so we quickly turned the corner there and agreed with him that it should be non-commercial and only for the purpose of honoring the Lord.
Now, how long did it take to raise the funds to buy KER, and how did you find KER? That was for sale.
I thought when we, thank you for calling and asking. Now can we go on to the next question?
That might have already been used.
Well, I thought it was good. Well, I honestly don't know how long it took. I know in general the steps we went through. Bob Bonhoff was working for Harold at the time. Helped us print up an attractive, about 20-page brochure that we distributed in the churches, setting out the burden. But just how we became acquainted with the owner of the KER, I don't remember. just all in the providence of God and making contact, all these things fell in place.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you for asking the difficult question.
No, that's all right. That'll get worse. So then the KER came on the air, and initially, did we plan for more than one station with just the station in San Francisco?
Oh, I think we were living from day to day. By the way, I believe you should know that initially there were only 12 to 15% of the homes in the Bay Area outfitted with FM radios. This was before FM really took off. And so we couldn't count on having much of an audience. But there was a broadcaster in Lincoln, Nebraska, the Back to the Bible program, that had been deprived of the ability to purchase time on a San Francisco station. So they graciously sent out thousands of postcards announcing the coming of KEAR. Thus, we had a ready-made audience when we came on the air. And because of that, we were able to go day to day, week to week, paying bills month to month, sometimes by the skin of our teeth, but always sensitive to new opportunities. And Carl, how did we apply for KEBR? Did we buy it? Oh, we bought it from what's his name?
KGMS.
Jack McTrain.
The old KGMS FM.
Right. My memory is
So how did we come to I mean, there's a story with Scott Smith and everything of how we came to buy the second station.
Well, Scott was a businessman, dearly loved of the Lord in Sacramento. And one Saturday morning, I had stayed overnight, Friday night, so I was still in the San Francisco studio, and the phone rang Saturday morning, and it was Scott asking how he could help. And I said, well, from the sound of your voice, I think we need to get together personally and explore this. And he became a member of the board when our original board member, Lloyd Vincent, left. And he was a very creative and wonderful helper in developing the funding of the other needs to achieve the growth of the ministry in more areas.
Now, as I recall hearing, I heard the stories, and so maybe you can correct me on this. Originally, Scott listened to KEAR, but then another station came on the air in Sacramento at a nearby frequency, and he's no longer able to receive KEAR. So that's what happened. Well, so how did you find Carl Hall? I mean, here we're going to start a second station. Scott helped raise some money to purchase the station.
Carl had to remind me of how that happened last night. And we had a mutual friend with whom we were corresponding back in Pennsylvania who knew of Carl and recommended that we contact him. And we did. At the time, as a teenager, Carl was working for a movie producer in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, Shorty Gaylord. And he was doing camera work and other work of that nature for Shorty. So I asked Carl if he would be interested in coming out to manage KEBR. I knew he didn't have the experience that would speak well of him, but he wrote such a magnificent treatise on his view of what Christian radio should be. Now, I brought it out on a 30-day trial basis, and the 30 days have extended beyond our imagination.
So, okay, Carl, why don't you come on up? And we're just so glad to have all these